gas pedal to split now. I'm not used to that whatsoever. I have not even memorized where I have located it at my foot, so I have to get used to that. It's not going to be that difficult. Like the run wasn't actually that bad for no reset run. That I haven't like done runs in a week, you know. So I would most like I won't reset in this run if there's no technical difficulties. There's the only reason why I resetted the run before this was due to technical difficulties. And I want to enjoy the no reset run and not just like have technical difficulties and have to deal with them during a run. So this was the reason I reset it. So I won't reset unless I have more technical difficulties, which I shouldn't. So I have to like kind of... Oh hey Cruscader, man! Oh, you can't hear in-game audio? This is kind of bad RNG. I have to deal with this. Can you hear it now? I hope you can. I have like sometimes like difficulties with the audio. Oh, I forgot to split. Yo, take some rest. No worry with lurking. Like lurking is fine. Thanks for saying hi. Not speedrunning for a week and I already forgot how to skip a split. I don't know what's wrong with me. So I haven't played this game for a week, which is very unusual. This is my first week not playing this game for like a year or something, and I just want to see how I play without having run it for so long. Like, I mean, it's just a week, but see if I have improved for this no reason or not. Like, I often have that if I don't play a game for a certain amount of time that I suddenly just get better at it. Like, I can see like small little fuck ups that I usually don't do, or at least not as often. Like for something like this, like I usually don't just not climb down a ladder. I guess for the no reset run this is okay, but if this was a world record attempt I would have reset it a long time ago. Like too many small mistakes, which, like, I mean, 0-4 was actually kind of a big mistake, but it was due to bad RNG, which is indirectly also my mistake because for that stage I manipulate RNG. So that strat that I just did there, I usually don't do in a run. I only do it when I'm in a somewhat bad run, so to make up some time it only saves like 0.45 seconds. A little bit impressed that I am getting the wall kicks. Like, I usually don't get them if I haven't warmed up myself. Like I haven't gotten them perfectly, but I even managed to get them at least. So there is a stretch in 2-2 that I have been working on, which saves a little bit of time, like 0.5 seconds around that. But I'm not that consistent with it yet, so I probably won't do that one. So I'm using a gas pedal to split now, and I'm not used to that, so already said that. It's kind of sad that theoretically, if I get good RNG and play very good, that I could still get the record, which is kind of dumb. Because it's just already such a bad time was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like really super hardcore difficult from here to PB, but it's theoretically possible. Interested if I remember every small time save that I wanted to do in a run that I have worked on. That's stupid. Like before I did like this small break, there were a couple of strats that I tried to do in a run, which I haven't completely remembered yet, but I think I have them down, or I think I have them remembered. Like executing is not the problem, I know how to execute them, but sometimes I have trouble remembering certain strat that I wanted to do, because I'm just muscle memory takes over. Was close, I almost died there, which hasn't happened in a long time. So you can do this stage faster, but I got bad RNG, so I just had to execute it the best you can do that with that RNG. Like you have often this in this game, you have often like different. You have to often react to different RNGs. So it's kind of a little bit like a Link to the Past, where every time you enter the room, there are like a few different RNGs that you can get, and you have to play them accordingly. And some lose time, some save time. Oh, that was close. Like I'm doing a lot of very. Like I didn't do a mistake there, but it was very close to being a mistake. And I notice this quite often in this run that I've been doing very like a little bit different execution than I usually do, even though that didn't turn out to be a mistake. Oh, I didn't enter the door there, I don't know why. The door, I mean the stage. Oh, this could be bad, please don't. Okay, this was fine. Ah, that's good. Like this is something, for some reason I have extreme trouble. Come on. I have have extreme trouble sometimes entering stages. I don't know if it's because of the way I mash, but sometimes this happens that I press A and it just doesn't enter the stage. I don't know if it's on my controller or if it has to do with the way that I mash. Kind of sucks, because I hate losing time in places where I shouldn't have lost time. Overall, this is so far not a good run. It's also like I haven't died yet. I haven't done any like big execution errors. It's just like small mistakes that add up, and also like a big mistake that was more due to RNG, or like a bigger time loss that happened was more due to RNG. There is a strat that can save 2 seconds, which I plan to introduce into the run in the future. I haven't gotten it consistent yet, and it's not too big for me to do it yet. But that strat is really difficult. It saves 2 seconds. I hate stages where I have to wait on things, and that stage is like I have to kind of wait on something. Oh, I forgot the strat that I wanted to do on the stage. This was what I meant. Like there was a strat that saves 0.5 seconds that I can do here that I just forgot to do because Masanori took over. Ah, this was good. This stage is quite difficult. You have to do like 5 reverse backflips in a row, which is like the hardest form of backflip. It's basically a backflip. It's basically a backflip that goes to the front, but it's not a front flip because like it's basically a backflip that goes to the front. Don't know if that makes sense. Shiekrunner is one of the stages where I take a very huge risk for a very small time save, but because it's still early in the run, it's a risk that I can take. Like if I place a... yeah, I did it. Like if I place it at that position, that item, if I do any kind of slight movement error, then I cannot make it, and it will basically lose definitely 5 seconds, or I have to kill myself, or lose like 20 or 30 seconds. Ah, this was very close. So here I just cancelled the falling animation by doing the backflip grab glitch, and if you like fall off from a height, that kind of would result in a in like you losing the key, like in you having like this kind of like stun that you can't really move. You can just cancel it by B if you cancel the glitch, basically. It's very helpful in that situation. Saves like 2 seconds, I would say. So we actually got good RNG on this stage, so we could do the clip. It's only possible with good RNG. So here I actually do an extra jump, and the reason for that is it just makes it more likely to not get fucked on the stage. As you can see, Donkey Kong is like switching like these switches, and if he does that in a very specific way, it can lose you up to like 30 seconds. Usually if you get bad RNG it's just 10 seconds, which is still huge. So doing that extra handspring there on the thing, on the platform, is a little bit difficult, but it just decreases the chance of you getting fucked on that stage. Because you are faster, because you can block the way. I can't really explain it, but you basically block the door with an item earlier, so he couldn't make it so that you can't block it, if that makes sense. So here I wanted to do a new strat. All the strats that are new are basically just small time savers, and they are not technically that new, because I've worked on them for quite some while. Okay, that was a stupid timers. But I did the strat that I wanted to do, so that was still an achievement. Like, walking off edges is not always that easy. Yo, hey Kevin, man. How you doing? Playing a little bit the Donkey Kong, doing a no reset run. So here you can get like 5 seconds can you save due to good RNG, and you can go for an extra roar kick. I usually go for the extra roar kick if I'm on a run that is not really that good, which would be this basically. So I didn't get the extra time save, so I go for the roar kick once. I can save a second or I can lose a second. So it's like whatever basically. And I didn't get it, so I lost a second, but I could have saved a second. And out of my experience I get it more than I not get it. So it was worth it in my opinion. Very surprised that I play. Okay, I shouldn't have said anything. So this was the first really big execution error. This was very stupid. Like, I haven't messed this up in such a long time that I don't even know how to do a backup for this. So this is something I could practice after this run. Like, I'm not supposed to mess this up. If I mess this up in an actual world record attempt, I would reset most likely. But it's still good to know if it happens in like a race or something, what I could do. Like, I like to know backups. Like, I knew a backup to this, but I've just forgot the backup because I haven't done that in such a long time. It's not that difficult of a stretch once you know what you have to do. But what basically happened is I wanted to handspring, but I tried to, like, I cancelled the, like, I just did some weird thing where I cancelled kind of the handspring and jumped instead. And that made it so that I couldn't get it, but at least I didn't die. So World 4 is for me probably the most practiced stage, because like recently, because there are like a couple new strats that are slightly faster. So one is on this stage. I kind of got it, but not really. It's basically a small time save that if you grab the vine, like if you do the backflip at the beginning and you grab the vine like higher up basically, then you save a little bit of time. This stage is really difficult because also of a new, I should have gone for a little bit of a different strat there. I shouldn't have initiated the backflip from the left and not from the right there, so that would have been the better choice. Like this. But this was a little bit too slow. So this stage I have been practicing like crazy, because you can save like 1 to 2 seconds if you do that. But it's really difficult. So there's also like another small strat here, which saves a second. A little bit less probably. It's harder, but also easier, if that makes sense. Like it can be harder, it can also be easier. So that was basically the strat, going down right instead of left. Depends probably on the person whether it's easier or not. For me it seems to be easier. But I can also see why somebody would have troubles with it instead of finding it easier. Just happens to be a strat that I, for some reason, don't really have that many problems with. I'm a little bit anxious, or not really anxious because this run doesn't really matter, but for 9 there is a small strat that I wanna do in a run, but because I haven't played in a week, it's a little bit fuzzy on how I do it. So I will see how it turns out. So this is best RNG on the stage, so this means I can go for a strat that saves extra time if I get it. This was best RNG, wasn't it? Have I not looked right? Okay, maybe it wasn't best RNG, so maybe I have in this stage, depending in which direction the bats move, it depends which strat I go for. So this was perfect RNG, so this makes the strat much easier to do that saves a second. And I thought I got perfect RNG, and I executed it well, but I guess I didn't have perfect RNG, because if that would have been the case, that wouldn't have happened. Kinda slow. There was also a strat that I have done here that I kind of forgot. Like there's some things that I just have to remember. Like it won't be that big of a deal to remember them. If I do like tomorrow like a little bit of practice, which I will probably do, I have them remembered and I can do them in a run again. But it just happened to that when I just adapted new things to the run, I just happened to make a small break because I just got so tired of the game. So I had to do that break. Like I just got too burned out with the game. Like I kind of forced myself to play the game, and I usually don't like to force myself doing something. It just felt like I have to play the game. It's very, I didn't get the extra time save. It's very idiotic to feel that way, but it's not idiotic to feel that way, but to not stop yourself from forcing yourself to do something if you don't want to do it. But right now I really enjoy it. Like it's when you do a small break, suddenly it's all good and awesome again. So recap of this world, basically, for 2 I died, that should not happen. I know what my mistake was. For 1 I didn't get the strat that I wanted to get perfectly, but I kind of got it. For 3 I got. For 5 I got. For 6 I misjudged perfect RNG, I think. Oh. So yeah, it's good. Like this was the stage that I was worried about, but I did it okay. It wasn't perfect, but this is one of the hardest stages in the game. Like there are definitely other stages. Oh fuck. There are definitely other stages that are as hard as this, but this is kind of like, because you have like 2 chances of dying very easily. 4-8 could have been better. I could have gotten the strat that I wanted to get, but overall I'm quite happy with this run so far for a no reset. So I have to wait, do it to better RNG. I did a handspring there, so I didn't grab the vine. Makes it more consistent. You can theoretically not do a handspring and do it faster, but it's oftentimes you just lose time if you try to do that, because it's a little bit finicky. Yeah, that was good. Oh, like I'm actually very happy with the way that I play, for not playing for a week and not warming up. Like there was only small things that I've done in a run, so for that were kind of stupid. Maybe it's also kind of bad for me to expect to play bad if I just didn't play the game for a week. Like it's not like that I suddenly forget how to play the game, but for some reason I have in my mind that if I don't play the game I will lose the ability to play the game for some reason. I know that's stupid, but for some reason that's like in my head like this. I have 69 lives. So in this world we can save time over my run, but it will be hard because there's only like the early game of World 5 in my PB was strong, but I did once do a mistake that I just didn't really remember. So there was also a strat that I wanted to do here. So that was a strat, but I kind of fucked something different up. Like doing like all these small optimization lead also to like more time loss sometimes if you're not 100% consistent with it. Oh, I got to RNG here. When you get good RNG here, you can actually play the game stage a little bit faster at the beginning with it mattering. If you get bad RNG, you have to kind of rate, so the beginning doesn't really matter how good you play it. It just doesn't have to be dog shit. Depends, like the good RNG and bad RNG kind of, like on one RNG you have to wait to kill the skull, and with the other one that I just got, you don't have to wait, you can just go for it. Oh, there we go, perfect RNG, easy every time. Next stage is like really difficult. Or like not really difficult, it's just like getting into optimal is kind of pain in the ass. There we go. You have to get RNG where this strat is possible, and also you have to do optimal execution, and you have to you can't just like sometimes if you handspring you don't get you handspring not the moment where you are able to handspring. Sometimes if you handspring too late, basically you are not able to do it. It's you have to be very fast you have to get very fast to the ladder, and if you're just slightly slower, Donkey Kong will get you with the stomp. So there's also a very hard strat here, like that jump. And the hard part here is also to know on how there's each time kind of a different RNG with the mice patterns or dog patterns. I don't know if it's mice or dogs. So you have to know what you have to do with different RNG. But the way I do it here is that I just look at it and look at the RNG that I got and just make the judgment from there. So I don't actually have them remembered what to do. I just can tell when I see them, basically. So this is good RNG. Come on, please kill it. Yes. So if you kill them without having to wait on one of them coming back, then that's very good. That's good RNG. It's not necessarily perfect RNG, because perfect RNG is basically dependent on when Donkey Kong Jr. Switches a switch, and he rarely does it, so that it's absolutely the best outcome. But getting a 124 in a run is really good. Like I had runs where I died or got like a 111 due to bad RNG. So I made a slight movement error, but that doesn't really matter that much, because I just have to get into a specific frame window, like time window to that point. So if you execute the stage very well, you can even do a slight mistake, you will still make the cycle, basically. So I didn't actually lose any time there. So far I would actually say that this maybe has a chance to beat my PB, like at least this World 5. But like the hardest 4 stages are coming up in World 5. I actually remember where I lost my time in World 5, that was 5-9. I did 5-9, to be fair, is a very, like, it's kind of like a difficult stage, but where I lost time, like what happened basically was a little bit something that I wouldn't necessarily call a mistake, it was more of an accident. Like if you get hit by a car, that's also a mistake most of the time if it's your fault, but it's still like it's still like not, like it's kind of like an accident, if that makes sense. Oh, come on, please let me, yes. So that was good. And the same what happened in my PB happened there. So this is how I basically lost a lot of time in my PB. So the hard part I actually got, but then that happened. What basically happened there, I kind of... it's very... like I don't even know 100% what happened, but for some reason I got stuck at a little part, and that made it so, like I got stuck somewhere and that made it so that my handspring couldn't reach the higher platform, and if that is the case, the key will disappear before I get there. So that if that happens, you have to basically back up, because you have to have perfect movement to make it so that the key won't disappear before you get there. So this stage was really good executed, but I didn't get the key grab, so I had to go for a backup. The key grab there is like what I tried to do was throwing the key upwards and grabbing it on the other platform. That way I don't... 1 second. I think I just... I even saved some time over my PB and I split it late. Like that just shows how terrible my PB is there. I am not used to splitting with a gas pedal yet. I just forgot what I wanted to say, so... kinda sucks. Yeah, that kinda sucks. So this world is fun, but can also be not fun. Okay, that to be fair was a mistake my side, like that should have never happened. But I mean, it's fine. If you lose time on that elevator, you can make it so that you only lose like a little bit of time if you know what you do. So I only just lost a second because I knew a good backup to it. So I haven't really, like, this one is kind of like, a run where I explain a lot of things. I usually don't do that in this extent. I don't know why I even do this at the moment. I just feel like I just haven't played the game for a while. Just feel like talking about the game. So the key glitches are very interesting things. They are very complicated, but I basically use them everywhere in the run to my advantage. You can do so many things with them. You can like just jump from a very high, like the glitch is very simple. What you basically do, you can grab a key without standing on it. So if you press A is the button to jump, and you can just, while you're jumping, grab the key with B. And if you happen to not jump but do a backflip and grab the key, then you have like what's called the backflip grab glitch, which basically makes it so that the key is stuck to your head. So, and with that you can do so many things. You can do a double tumble, which basically is tumbling twice with that state. And if you tumble twice, then you still have the key, but the game thinks like you don't have the key or something. And then you can just like do everything that you weren't supposed to be able to do with having a key, like climbing down ladders and stuff like that. And also like jumping from very high platforms or something and aiming for a door, and if you land on a door you don't actually die, because it works like a gravity hole, no, black hole is the word. Like it pulls you inside of it basically. It's like a magnet. My execution is on point. So where's my gas pedal? There it is. Like the gas pedal that I have is like just so tiny compared to my foot. It's crazy. I shouldn't have gone for the second time, I'm an idiot. The reason why I should have not gone for the second time is because in a run I don't want to go for a second time there. If that makes sense, like I want to go for the backflip once, but if I don't get it I just move on, and that was just bad decision making. But it happens, but I know it now. So here on this stage you can basically do a double tumble, but that's very rare to get. It saves 5 seconds or 4 seconds if I remember correctly. But I usually don't get it in a run. I occasionally do get it though. Maybe I can get this rack jump here. Yeah, there it was. So, oh, I remember a small like visual cue that I had for the stage. There we go. Like. Okay, this was decent. Probably just happened to split a little bit faster than in my PB. This is actually somewhat of a good pace, considering for like no reset run. Like this is on sub 1 hour 6 minute pace run, and this is decent. Like this is very good. Like I'm happy when I get sub 1 hour 8 minutes, even though I haven't done that many no reset runs lately, so it's very hard to judge because I have increased in skill level a lot. So like I usually never do really that many no reset runs, but due to these splits being new, like you can see, like I have 4 out of 8,600, 4 completed runs out of 8,000 attempts, and this is only because the attempts are manually added, because these splits aren't splits that I've always used, but I just added up, like I manually added up my split counter because of other splits that I've previously used. Oh fuck, damn. Previously used. So this never happened. Okay. This hasn't happened in a long time. But I couldn't, like, it doesn't make sense to add like how many runs you have finished, and it also is not possible, so I also wanna get like more finish run on these splits to just have like better life splits that makes sense with some of best and stuff like that. So I just got a trick first try, which I would freak out if this was an actual WR attempt, because this says 15 seconds. It can even save you 30 seconds depending on what RNG you get after you failed to get it. But like 7 round was really a stupid mistake. Like I wasn't prepared for that mistake because like it's so long since I've done that mistake. Just because that never happens. The way I throw the key usually makes it so it always goes into like the hole. That wasn't what I meant to do. So I probably just threw it a bit too early or too late. That mistake kind of bothers me because it's been a very long time since I've messed up 7-1, but probably just an exception, so I shouldn't be worried about it. So 7-5, there is a 15 seconds time save here, but I'm not going for that strat because I get this strat on SGB, Super Game Boy, like 1 in 100 attempts. I haven't managed to get this consistent yet. So I'm not going to go for that, but I'm doing the second best opportunity, like the second best strat, which is just saving small times on the stage, doing it the other optimal way when you don't do the strat, like that says 15 seconds. So actually it just says when you do it says technically just 13 seconds the other strat that I don't go for. Like it kind of bothers me that I don't go for it, because it's such a huge time save. But I get it so rarely that it wouldn't make any sense to go for it. Simply because out of most runs I would just lose 3 or 4 seconds there unnecessarily, and I would rarely get like that strat, like very rarely. I never get it on SGB. Like on emulator I have it somewhat consistent when I've played on Game Boy emulator. I've had it somewhat consistently. When I talk about this strat, that this is not a strat that you can just get consistent. It's very specific and it's very difficult. So I got it quite often on emulator, quite often. But also not just bad RNG. The reason why it's even different on emulator, if you're wondering, it's due to SGB, Super Game Boy, being a little bit faster than the Game Boy, so things are a little bit harder to execute on Super Game Boy. And when it comes to that specific trick, like I really have trouble getting that consistent on Super Game Boy. Was good if I don't get bad RNG. Yes, that was good. Oh, it was decent. It wasn't good, but it was decent. I really have to do more runs because theoretically I can beat my PB very easily. I wanna get at least one. Like I wanna get at least like my end goal at the moment, which will always change of course, but for now what my goal is a sub 1 hour 3 minutes. I would have to shave off 1 minute and 11 seconds to get the time that I want. But I can easily, like, I don't want to say easily because that is not true. It's not an easy time to achieve. Fuck, that was very stupid. I have to practice this stage tomorrow. Fuck. This should never happen. What basically happened is I got bad RNG and I forgot on how to react appropriately to that certain RNG because I recently have changed something about it and I just didn't remember it. So I have to kind of practice that stage to remember it correctly again. So that kind of bothered me a little bit, but I'm gonna change that. I will practice this tomorrow. I always have that problem that I just forgot what I wanted to say. So if there's something, an unfinished sentence right now in your head or something like that, I'm sorry. Like, I just really forgot what I wanted to say. Like, there's something wrong with me sometimes. Let me think. What would I remember actually. So it's still like not easy for me to achieve it, but I have definitely the skill to get the time that I want. I just have to do more runs. But I always run into the problem that either I don't feel like doing attempts or I don't feel like streaming. One of those two things that I have the problem, or I just don't feel like playing Donkey Kong. And I never get to do attempts. Just ends in me practicing infinitely and not getting the run that I want. So you want to trigger the spike when he throws the first barrel, so that you can, so that the spikes line up better, so you can. Haha, I remembered. I wanted to split it with my keyboard first, but then I remembered. Like, there's only one split where I've saved a little bit of time, which is World 5. World 6 I don't think I saved time, I think I just split it a little bit earlier than in my PB. Could be mistaken though, I may have actually saved time in World 6, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna try to go for a really sick World 8, which can already turn out to be very bad in the first stage, because I wanna go for... okay, I can't go for that. I didn't get the right enemy RNG. Like, I could still go for that trick, but it wouldn't save as much time as it could have, and it's just not worth it to risk it over that time that I could theoretically save there. Like, that strat that I would have had to do is a really difficult one. So how, like, all the, like, there's like a little bit of memory gaps, because like I recently, before I made the before I kind of like before I like took a break a little bit, I don't know how to execute the stage, but like I changed something about what I wanted to do, and there's like this like, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now in my head? So it's like, in my head it's not like completely like, okay, I do this strat. It's like more confused. I'm unsure whether what to do, because I just have like this memory gap. Like A2 was an example of this, because I remember changing something about that stage, but I forgot what it was. mean, I remember it slightly, so I know what to. When I practice tomorrow, I will find it definitely what I would change about it. So this is most likely bad RNG. Can still be average, like can still be good average RNG, or like good. Okay, no, it's not. So the way, so the way I can tell this is good RNG or not usually is if you get on the second platform without him having initiated like the switch. Like if he, for example, goes, like if he tries to switch the switch before you are on the second platform, it's usually bad RNG. And if he doesn't try that, then it's usually good or at least decent RNG. So this was in a run. I would be a little bit upset about this RNG, but not too upset because it can go much worse. You can lose like 40 seconds if he really wants it. This stage is, by the way, also one of the, if you mess it up, you're gonna have a big time loss. Because like there's no really backup that you can do, so like you just have to die basically if you mess it up. The next stage is really cool because you completely break it basically. You use two glitches. You basically clip through a ceiling and clip through an elevator. If you don't manage to get this clip, you lose also a lot of time, which usually cooperates. So see, like it usually cooperates. And this one is very easy. Like this clip is consistent. It used to not be consistent, but then I found a way to make it consistent. And the next stage is also like a little bit RNG, but also a lot of execution that you have to do right. Oh, that was godlike. Oh man, this was really good executed, but at the same time it wasn't. Like I managed to avoid the item box, which saves like 3 seconds. It's really difficult to avoid the item box there, but for some reason I didn't manage to like not have like this falling animation on the ground. Usually you, like I don't know if it was really my fault, because sometimes it doesn't really seem to be my fault. I couldn't cancel basically the falling animation, which led me to just having like this, that I couldn't move basically. So you just witnessed, if you have watched the video, the worst mistake out of my whole run. So basically in 9:14 I think it is, not 9:14, why don't I know that? 9:11. Not 9:11. I'm an idiot, sorry. 8:11. 8:11. 9:11. Well, 8:11. I accidentally threw the key into a pit instead onto a platform where I wanted to throw it, and that lost me like 30 seconds. So that was very unfortunate. Don't really want to blame it on me though, that was my mistake, but it was my mistake. It was just very stupid. Like I can swear that I threw it upwards, but for some reason I just threw it into the pit and it just happened to lose a lot of time. I even went for an easier strat on that stage, simply because I was so much ahead that I didn't need that time. And the time was, because I'm gonna go for the harder strat here, and you will see how fucked that strat is to do if you have like a really good run. So there's a good chance that I just mess up the strat. So in my PB I didn't even went for this strat because I just thought I didn't need that time. This looks decent. Well, see, and if that happens I just have to boom, kill myself. You can get this very consistent. I am kind of am consistent with it, otherwise I wouldn't do this. But it's just very easy to mess it up. Also, there were some like things that I have adapted to the strat to the stage that I forgot, so I have to kind of revisit this as well. So instead of throwing outwards, I threw it into the left pit, and that was like super stupid. I still hate myself for that, because if I wouldn't have done that mistake, I would have easily had a sub 1 hour 4 minutes, and I would have probably would have been able to get a 1 hour 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So this stage is probably like one of the last stages where you have to do like a very like this strat basically is just not something that you wanna do. This jump, like this didn't look that difficult, but that jump is not something that you wanna do at the end of the game. Getting that first try in a run is like the biggest Craigasm that you can imagine. Like, I'm very surprised. Like, this is what I mean. Like, I feel like I play, like, besides like me being a little bit rusty when it comes to what I remember and whatnot, I feel like I play pretty decent. Like, I play really good. And this is what I mean. Like, I had this same thing always happen to me when I would do like a small break, like in Osu or something. I always, after I did the small break, I would get just like better. I don't know if my brain processed something or something. But like I always, when I do this like small break, I always get better without doing anything. I don't know really why that is. That jump was unnecessary. Doesn't really lose time. Oh, I maybe. I don't know if that works. I have an idea basically of a new strategy, but I don't think it works. What I thought of. Do I save time? I might save time. I'm unsure. So you wanna make it so that the bird shits at very specific places, so that the eggs don't really get in your way. I saved 9 seconds. So see what I mean? I am definitely capable of beating my time. Like I've done like, oh, like this is a good run, but I feel like I've done way too many mistakes and I'm still like only like 2 minutes behind. So World 9 is the biggest problem with World 9 is that there's a lot of RNG. That's not fun RNG. Like it's not like RNG where I have to remember something and how to deal with it or anything like that. It's just like it's just stupid. You will see what I mean. But at least we get to we can. I could have not died there. I could have not died there. That was totally legit for me to jump there, but I just jumped too early. That shouldn't have happened. So see, now I have to jump instead of using the conveyor belt as my advantage, because DK didn't want, like DK Junior didn't want to cooperate. What I wanted to say, we basically put DK Junior in this world into a cage, which is kind of good. So if you get bad RNG on this stage, you can actually do a somewhat skilled backup, but it's very rare for you to get bad, like it's very rare to get bad RNG here, so if you do, it still kind of sucks because it never happens. So the worst RNG we haven't gotten yet on this stage can still be terrible. If he opens it, it's good, so it's still not good RNG. Like this could be perfect RNG. This looks very like perfect. It wasn't. It was very close on being perfect RNG. This can still be, yeah, this was good. Like this could have been perfect RNG, which saves 8 seconds, which is huge. And this was just the RNG that you wanna, like this RNG what I got here was just the RNG that you wanna get. Like 120.72 is good. Yeah, that was not. I have to practice this stage as well. Oh, there's like I don't think the bird spawns right now. Like, oh god, like we had like that was a bug basically. I think sometimes the bird just doesn't spawn for some reason. Like usually there's a bird that shits eggs on you on this stage, but it just didn't happen. It's kind of a race. Like I really feel like I play good, but I also don't want to go too late to bed. It's always like if I go a little bit too late to bed, then I have a bad sleep schedule, and that's really unhealthy for me. Like if I have a bad sleep schedule, I don't really function properly. Sounds like a little bit degenerate, but that's just the truth. It's just like everything is so weird. So this stage is always a little bit dangerous as well. If you over swing here, you're gonna have a bad time. So I didn't over swing, but I swung too less. Is that even a word? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you wanna count to 4 and wanna like kind of have like be at the middle of the rope. So it also depends on where you swing, basically, on how much you have to count. Yeah, how much you have to count. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna lose like a little bit of time here on this world. My PB is by the way deathless, which is the 4th time that happened. Like I managed to get a deathless one. I think it's the 4th time. So it's probably a sub 1 hour 7 minutes, which is good. Like it's good. It's a good time. Could be better though. Like this run had much more potential than a sub 1 hour 7 minutes. Could have been much better. But overall, I'm happy with how I played. Like, didn't really do any really that huge mistakes. Of course, there were some of. I don't want to say that I didn't do any huge mistakes because it isn't true. So this boss is similar to SMW, like the end boss. Like you wanna kind of like not just throw them immediately at him. You wanna, for example, like now he goes into the next phase, but I still have a barrel basically. So you wanna, and if you get certain RNG, which is very rare, you can even do this boss very quick, but it's a little bit risky too. And you can get better RNG here as well. So I try to go for the dunk. The dunk is basically a cool way to kill the boss. In some cases it can be faster, in some cases it can lose time. It's dependent on where you stand basically. If it's more worth it to do the dunk or to throw it. Yeah, this 6:19. Probably like 6:18. I split it a little bit late. Hey. This was a good no reset run. Now you can hear the good theme.